Hey everyone, let's talk about key signature construction and identification again some more today, but we're going to talk today specifically about working with minor keys. Now, this process is really the reason that I stress so much with you guys that with any key, major or minor, or any other kind of key, that we work with our order of flats. And I've already made up a little infographic of it here. Every time you're working on this kind of a problem with key signature identification or any key signature work, your order of flats should be present for you. So I've already written it out for us. B, E, A, D, G, C, F. And like always, I've made my little flat arrow and I've made my little sharp arrow telling me that if I read it this way, that's the flat order, that's the sharp order. Okay? For more information on how to use this, make sure you check out the major key signatures, identification, and construction videos. The same principle is going to be applied here. Now, I've got two little shapes that I made down here. I got my circle, and of course, I always put my circle around C major. When I'm solving for a major key signature, that's my starting point because C major is the key with no sharps and no flats. So I put my 0 around it just like that, and I always start like this. And then, of course, the process is really simple. If it's a sharp key, I'm going to count to the left, 1 sharp, 2 sharp, 3 sharp, and whatever a note I end on is do, which is also the name of the key signature, which is what I'm naming over here with my quiz. Now, if it's a flat key, I'm going the other way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Counting 1 space per flat or 1 space per sharp that's in the key signature as I move. And then whatever note I end on, that note is do. That note is also the note I name the key signature after. Don't forget, whether it's a major key or a minor key, which we'll talk about in a second, when you go around the corner, you're going to add the word flat to the key if you're going to the right, or you're going to add the word sharp to the key name if you're going to the left, which obviously it's going to happen a lot more often with flat keys because you go around the corner almost immediately. With sharp keys, there's only a couple of them. So I used my circle for my major key. I'm going to take that off for a second. The reason we use the circle around C is because C major is no sharps and no flats. The key with no sharps, no flats. Now, minor keys also have there's also a minor key with no sharps and no flats, and that key is A minor. And if you want to know why that is, basically with major and minor keys, the note, if I'm in a certain key signature, no sharps, no flats, C is going to be do. The note that will be do in the same minor key, in this case no sharps, no flats, is the 6th scale degree, or down a minor third from this note. So I go do, T would be B, La would be A. So put another way, if we're in a given major key, like we could use this one as an example. I have 6 sharps in this major key, so that's F sharp major, which is this note, F sharp right there. So in order to figure out what the minor key is, I can just start from here and I can go down do, T, La. And the note that would be La in my major key is going to be the name of my minor key. So in that case, that would be D sharp minor, right? You can do that, but basically what I've already done for you over here is I've simplified that process. All we need to know is that the minor key with no sharps, no flats is A minor. So I used a different symbol. I put a triangle around it. The rest of the process is exactly the same, and that is why I love this system so much. Major keys, minor keys, doesn't matter. One system fits all. The only difference is now we're going to be starting on A. So let's look at this key, and let's use our rule. Okay, starting on A, it's a flat key, so we're going to the left 4 spaces because of 4 flats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do is F. I did not go around the corner, so it's not F sharp minor. Obviously, it's a flat key, and there's no F flat minor. It's got to be F minor. Very easy. Let's do the same thing with our 3 sharps now. Which way am I going? I'm going to go to the left, and I'm going to move 3 spaces, but I'm starting from A, just like before. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, around the corner, 3. Now I went around the corner. That means I have to add sharp to the name. You'll notice this happens a lot more often for minor keys than it does for major keys, where you add sharp to the name. And you can even see on my quiz over here There's 5 sharp minor keys, but there's only 3 flat minor keys. This one was F sharp minor. Very easy, right? Let's do one more together. 6 flats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 flats. We went around the corner going the direction of flat, so that's not E minor, it's E flat minor. Incredibly easy, right? Exactly the same rules as before. Should be able to get through these no problem. The only area where this might become a little more difficult for you is when you do your assignment that incorporates minor and major keys. So what you're going to end up with is an order of flats that looks somewhat like this. And again, this is why I used a different symbol. When it's a major key, I have to remember to start on C, start from my circle. When it's a minor key, I have to start from A, start from my triangle. But the rest of the process is going to remain exactly the same. Now you ask yourself, Mr. Wolf, when I see a key signature in a piece, how do I know if it's major or minor? Well, right now it's because they're telling you. It's got the word minor after it. But eventually you're going to come across some that say major in front of them, and so it's just going to tell you. As far as discovering in the music whether it's a minor key or a major key, that's a whole other conversation and not really within the purview of this recording. Let's just look at our key signatures. 5 flats, minor. Start on A because it's minor. Go to the right because it's flats. 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 around the corner to B, so it's B flat minor. There's a sharp minor key. We're going to the left, going 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. C sharp minor. And here's a major key. We'll do one of these for old time's sake, but that's easy. Of course, we're starting on C this time. It's a flat key. I'm going to the right. I'm going 2 spaces. 1, 2. We landed on B, so that's B flat major. 3-step process, just like it was with major keys. The only difference is we added a step at the beginning. So first step, major key, you start on C. Minor key, you start on A. Major key, start on C. Minor key, start on A. First question is ask yourself which one they're looking for. Second question, is it a sharp key or a flat key? If it's a flat key, go to the right. If it's a sharp key, go to the left. Exactly the same as before. And then third step, how many spaces do I move? How many sharps or flats are there? That's how many spaces you move. And then if you went around the corner, you have to add flat or sharp to the key name. Super easy, right? Now the opposite is still going to be true. The opposite method where we're constructing key signatures is going to be just the same for minor keys. Now, just like before, we have to look at this key name and we have to analyze it. If the key name has, I'm going to zoom in on it so we can see it. If the key name has a flat in it, then it has to be a flat key, which means I have to start on A and I have to go in the direction of flats, which is to the right, until I get to B. Let's count how many flats we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I'm constructing that on paper, I'm going to write 5 flats and I'm going to write their names out. But of course, when we're constructing it here, we don't have to do that. We just have to go to the flat side, click on 5, pulls them up for us, and submit it. We got it. Great. Let's now. So if it says flat in the key name, we know it has to be a flat key. If it says sharp in the key name, we know it has to be a sharp key. But just like before, some of them don't have that. Some of them are just by themselves. But we can use the same system that we used for major keys to figure out if this key is a flat key or a sharp key. And it's exactly the same system. But we have to start from A, just like before. So any note, we're going to do the same process that we did for the major key. We'll start on A, and because we know we didn't go around the corner to get to F, we know we have to go straight to it. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go to the right, which means that F has to be a flat key, F minor. Let's count how many flats there are. 1, 2, 3, 4 flats. 4 flats. Let's zoom back out. Throw them up on the screen. Easy peasy. Here's another one that doesn't have a sharp or a flat next to it. So again, I have to go directly to that note starting from A. Again, don't get yourself confused. Don't start from C when we're dealing with minor keys. I have to go straight straight from A to D. That's just 1 space to the right. That's 1 flat, D minor. You'll notice that because of where A lays on the circle of fifths, there's going to be more flat minor keys that don't have flat in the name than there were sharp minor keys, which is the opposite of how it was with majors. A minor. Now, no sharps, no flats in the name, but this one's easy, of course, because we already know A minor. That's my starting point. That's no sharps, no flats. When you have to answer that one, it's just this button, the natural. That is also a way to get rid of all the accidentals if you want to bring it back to there. Just submit it. No sharps, no flats like that. Last one, let's do a sharp key. It says G sharp minor. We know it has to be sharps, so we're going to the right. Let's count. The left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until we land on G and we went around the corner. That's 5 sharps. For my sake, I even like to go one step further and make sure that I know all the names of those 5 sharps. That's F, C, G, D, and A. But of course, we don't need to do that for these answers. We just have to submit. Then, of course, you're going to be asked to do it to identify major and minor keys. This is where you have to get a little careful with your reading and make sure that you notice, okay, this is A sharp minor. And if it's a minor key, I have to start from A. Now, it's A sharp. That means I have to go to the left, and I go all the way around till it's back to A, which is 7 sharps. So let's count it, make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, all the sharps. Just like, there's flats. Just like with C sharp major and C flat major, you probably have noticed that when you have C, it's either no sharps, no flats, or all the sharps, all the flats. Same thing with minor keys. A minor is no sharps, no flats. A sharp minor is all the sharps, that's 7. A flat minor is all the flats. Let's submit. Here's another minor key. So start from A. No sharp or flat in the name, so I got to go straight to it, which means I'm going to the left. It's a sharp key. 1 sharp, 2 sharp. Red sharp, blue sharp. We got it. B flat minor. Going direct to the right this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 spaces to the right means 5 flats. Submit it. Someday we'll get a major key. I'm hopeful. Not yet. It's coming. Give me a major key. There we go. There's a major key. So it shows up pretty small. It's kind of easy to miss the difference if you're not looking for it carefully. But when you get a major key, make sure you're starting from C, like we did before. This one's C flat major, so we're going to the right until we get back to C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flats. All the flats. So again, a 3-step process. You're going to ask yourself 3 questions. First question, is it major or minor? If it's major, you're starting from C. If it's minor, you're starting from A. Second question you ask yourself, is it a sharp key or a flat key? If it's got flat in the name, over here where it's written, if it's got flat in the name, it's got to be a flat key, you're going to the right. If it's got sharp in the name, it's got to be a sharp key, you're going to the left. If it's got neither in the name, you start at either C or A, and you go directly to that note. Okay, so in the case of A major, we're starting from C. Come back. There it is. So we're starting from C, and we're going directly to A, which means we're going to the left. 1, 2, 3 spaces, that's 3 sharps. And then the third question you ask yourself, we ask ourselves major or minor, so am I starting on C or A? Then I ask myself, is it a sharp key or a flat key, which determines which direction you're going? And then the last question you ask yourself is, how many spaces does it take to get me there? Or, how otherwise known as, how many sharps or flats are there in the key? This one's got 3. We're done. It's that easy, kids. These should take you like 3 minutes each. Peace, bro.